What is going on, everyone? Day number 2. Well, yes. Technically, we're watching the replays. Nonetheless, sporting on the top side of the map in the blue color playing as Gaia. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the red color playing as Hades. His name is Shelty. Map is Midgard, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a fun one. I always like watching Shelty play. Why? Because he makes it seem like it's possible for the regular human to play at a very, very high level. Reason I say that is because he plays like this the entire time. If you take a look at the camera quickly, this is how he's playing. He doesn't put his left hand on the keyboard because he's just clicking around playing like this. That's a little bit of a lie. He does have a couple of hotkeys he's using, but for the most part, he's not spamming anything. He's got some wicked multitasking ability for the fact he's basically only got one hand. Magic, on the other hand, this guy, I appreciate him for a completely different reason. This guy is one of the few RTS players I've ever known who's able to take an extended break from playing RTS games, come back and be at his old level within a week. He knows how long it takes him to get to a really competitive level. He knows how to train to get there quickly. And it's wild to me that he's able to do that on a consistent basis. Nonetheless, Genesis Retold. This is the round of 16, I believe. And we're going to be in for a treat here because we're going to be watching Gaia versus Hades. I think I've seen this matchup happen once before, and the general strategy the Hades player went for was a pretty big all-in that kind of fell flat against the Gaia's economy. Now, where I tend to think about how this matchup goes for the Hades player, I don't actually think there's any advantage to be had in terms of a straight-on fight with the Gaia player until you're at full population. Now, when you're at full population, then we can start saying that we've got some advantages to play with because the units are just much stronger for the Greek player. So what you want to do here, if at all possible, as the Hades player, is skirmish, take really small fights, snipe oracles if you can, and try and delay for as long as you possibly can. Force your opponent to take some bad fights underneath Town Center Fire, underneath Sentinel Fire, and all the other good stuff with walls and weird stuff that can stop them from getting any attacks. And then once you get to that point where you can actually just push, you just push, and then your opponent's army falls flat. But we'll see how it's going to go. It kind of looks like I need to flipperoonie our thing here. So let's go ahead and flipperoonie this. Alrighty. So, what are the kind of keys to success, so to speak, here for our Gaia player Magic? Well, first and foremost, he does need to be aware that if he doesn't defend his base, he might get hit with a whole bunch of Minotaur, a Cyclops, or a couple of heroes. So it's going to be important to defend that. He's already starting that defense up with the temple over here. You could throw a mana over onto this side, a wall over onto this side as well, as you see the mana coming up over here. So he has left this open a little bit for punishment. Mana on this side is really, really nice. Forces the units to have to walk through here and get hit by the town center in a big way rather than running straight through this way onto the gold mine. Love that positioning there. And we see Leto. Magic is in a $15,000 tournament right now. Playing as Gaia, going with Leto. If that isn't a stamp of approval that this god is well worth going, I don't know what is. Doc coming up over here for Magic. Boss is there to say good day as another cheeky little Gaia Forest getting dropped onto this position here. As the units here starting to move across, Shelty's got himself his Ajax and he is on the hunt for oracles. One weakness of Leto is not having access to the Caladria, which can heal up your oracles. As we'll see if he can find it or not as the Ajax coming through. Oracle does get pulled back straight away. Magic very quick on that one. Kotoskopos going to be retreating away for the time being as the Ajax going to be attempting to cut this one off. Now, mean, picking this one off could be a big help for him, but it looks like he hasn't managed to get there. The automaton is going to be taking the long road back home. Counter barracks is going to get dropped down in the main base. Already a military academy is up, as we do see a cheeky little hammer ship and a juggernaut coming through for Shelty at the moment. As the villagers getting pushed off of this position over here, going to be shanking down that Katoskopos there as well. Minotaur comes through, not going to be able to get any kills, says Citizen over here getting pushed back. And this is what I was talking about. You've got to get those defensive buildings in place. Otherwise, the units are just going to get a whole bunch of damage done. Citizen gets sent flying. Can Shelty micro this one here as the automaton coming through, getting some damage done as well. We see the Citizen making a break for the mana there. Manages to keep that one alive as the automaton will go down, but so too will that Minotaur basically be going down as well as the hero Terma is out. The Terma has spent a little bit too much time at the pub. Gone through that javelin straight to save his life, but does manage to do so. As now we've got the Achilles coming in. Sniping down these oracles is a really big idea here. You don't need to kill off the Terma. Kill off the oracles. This is favor down the drain here as some hoplites are going to be coming through as well. One oracle down. Second oracle over here getting chased away as the hoplites charging forward. And Shelty says, all right, that's enough of that. Let's get out of here. Do we see a stable up? Yes, we do. And in the main base here for Shelty, he's just dealt with what looks to be a servant. And he might decide to move across the map fairly shortly as we do have a Bareem is out now. Shelty now looking to put the pressure back on. He's got a lot of units here. He does have a little bit of an advantage cooking at the moment. I don't know what's going on in the tab here, but it's not accurate. We have to take a look at the top bar. What is going on in that military population tab? We just have to ignore it. It's going to scale up to about 10 billion here in this one. Nonetheless, military resource value is going to have to do for us. Armory coming up for Magic as he wants to go to the next age. He's got the towers up as well. As we see Vaults of Erebus coming through. Houses coming down as well. And one big thing here for Shelty, and for Hades in general, is just to start getting yourself those Minotaurs out. 2 villagers on favor here is going to be a big help for that. Big Minotaur, big push with restoration. Hero is out, all the good stuff. Now, Magic on the other side here, he's kind of noticing this, and he says, all right, the pressure's not coming for me. I've got good defenses. Can't kill my gold line. I'm going to go to the heroic age. Now, the question of whether he goes for Rhea or Thea is a pretty simple one. Thea. Rhea is an unfortunate god. Not the best in 9 times out. Not the best 9 times out of 10. Just on the fact that Thea just gives so much more value. Now, 1 time out of 10 is pretty good. Idea being, you get yourself behemoths, you can push through a big defensive position that your opponent's not ready for, and you can find some wins there. So we'll see what Shelty's plan is going to be here, because he is just pumping units, and obviously goldmine situation here for Magic over here and over here is going to be a bit of a challenge to deal with, especially. Wait, where is he dropping those spider eggs? Okay, over here. I like this. Start to put the pressure onto this one. Not showing those spider eggs over there. Shelty going to be wandering forward. He might even lose a unit or two as he runs straight forward. Yes, he does. There's 2 gone. And a 3rd one gone. But the oracles here have been spotted. Getting sent back. Doesn't quite get the oracle kill. I would have liked for him to dive a little harder on that. Picking off an oracle is really big. Because there's 4 oracles out for Magic at the moment. Shelty looks like he's still not building those Minotaurs just yet, as we do have that volcanic forge technology coming through, as that's going to be a gigantic assistance for him. Meanwhile, units, there's so many in this middle of the map for the time being here, but Shelty doesn't have the line of sight over on this gold mine. He doesn't have the line of sight over on this gold mine, so he just doesn't know what's happening here in terms of where he needs to have his units. He's pulling back to his main base. He's going to the next age. I don't think this is necessary. I think putting the pressure on right now and stopping Magic from getting a free 2nd gold mine is going to be a really good idea. You know, we were talking about keys to success is get to full population, but if your opponent goes to the heroic age, that's enough of an advantage in all honesty. As the Stymphalian bird gets a couple of pot shots off, not going to do all too much. Aphrodite going to be coming through. I mean, there is an idea here to go for Nemean Lions, but I don't know, man. We're going to be seeing Contarius coming through. And the gold mine is expiring over here. And defending against these Contarius is challenging. There is a nice little wall that can be dropped on this little position here. But the Contarius is going to be charging through. As the villagers on the back here going to get sniped down. The army not in position to defend. No defenses being put up by Shelty. And this is all of the advantage right now for Magic. Any sort of raids while he's setting up over here. He's got himself now a palace. He's got himself the units. He's got everything that he needs. We've got that those upgrades coming through as well. As the Contarius are going to be retreating back. Villagers coming over onto this position there as well. So the army's going to all pull back to the main base here. Population differential still slightly in favor of Shelty for the time being. There's a lot of dryads here though, and there's not that many heroes. This is a challenging fight in all honesty for Shelty to take, but he's going for it, and Magic doesn't want to turn around and take it just yet, pulling back into his main base. Gonna get a little bit of healing back onto those myth units. That's how the Hesperus tree works. You get all of those, it's like 3 hit points per second onto allied myth units. We see some manas coming up over here. That's going to be a big help because then he's going to get some healing on the Lush as well. For those of you who don't realize or don't know, big boost for Gaia is that healing there. As the army going to be charging forward, we do have that palace here. Just take it down, kill it off. Don't wait. Running straight through a whole bunch of those spider lairs there as well. As where are the Contarius? The Contarius coming back in. And Shelty now can take a really big fight. He does hit the curse down onto that position. Units retreating back. Meanwhile, we're still seeing like raids onto the water as well. Just a little bit while this is all going on. Palace going to get torn down very quickly here. There's still restoration. I say use it. I say clean this up and just say no worries. 5 seconds of killing off this palace is more than enough, but the army keeps getting drawn off of it here as the palace is getting some good amounts of damage done. Magic retreats back. We've got the tower over here, plus the palace restoration gets dropped down. Gontarius retreating back in. Market goes up for Magic for the time being here as the army dives underneath the town center. He's taking so much damage from those arrows here as the Stymphalian bird joins in to boot. Shelty going to continue fighting. He's still got 30 more population than Magic in this fight here as the army getting stunned up, getting pushed back yet again, taking tons of damage here. Magic going to be retreating yet again back underneath this town center, and Shelty yet again following. There's a palace, there's a tower, there's 2 towers and a town center getting damage dealt onto this position here as Magic's pulling back, takes so much more damage. The Arcus are cleaning everything else up, and now, and only now, Magic manages to find himself with an advantage population-wise, and Shelty gonna have to pull back onto this position now. He's still trying to take these fights. He does have access to building Peltast to counter those 14 Arcus that have been trained. Wouldn't be a bad idea to swap away from some Toxotes for the time being and make it happen. But I think the big mistake there from Shelty was just not cleaning up that palace with the restoration. I think that would have been a great way to go about that fight. Doesn't need to dive into the main base, just needs to be getting the value there while also attacking over onto this gold mine here. But Magic is now over there. Units getting pushed back. Magic's now up to full population. Over on this position, we do see a little bit of a raid here, but there are some defenses, especially the Prodrome is going to be a big help. We've got those hoplites here. No upgrades, no Sarissa, no Aegis Shield. Fortress coming up over here for Shelty as well. Maybe the idea to go to the Mythic Age here. I've seen him do this many times when he's playing these one town center games. Loves to hit that Mythic Age nice and early. He's a little bit low on golds here, though, as his villagers having to build the fortress there. Meanwhile, oops, Skylar gets a hit off. Send the Skylar off to get some damage done, or at least defend. There is the Nereid over here. If the Nereid uses that special ability, the Skylar absolutely dominates this one. I believe it's 2 special attacks from the Nereid is a dead Skylar. Meanwhile, Yuda's pushing back over here. Arcus getting some nice shoot and scoot micro happening onto this position. And Shelty just can't really take the fight just yet. He needs those Peltast. Contarius over here will be able to deal with those... the Prodromus will be able to deal with those Contarius over there. As the army pulling back underneath the fortress. And now we see a Mythic Age. Artemis is the god of choice. No surprises. And you can start making those Chimera out. Can we see that? They only cost food. So you've got a lot of food in the bank. So you can definitely make them en masse. And it can be really, really challenging to deal with them moving forward here for Magic. But Magic's on 2 town centers, or he's going up to 2 town centers. And he's always going to have access to that Atlas to come through at some point, which can be absolutely cleaning everything up. Now, a good Earthquake here from Shelty will deny this Mythic Age of Magic for a little bit. And it might be enough to turn the tides in a big way. Well, Hoplites be poking away, and Magic says, no worries. We'll take this fight as he cleans up those 2 Hoplites there nicely. But again, there's no pressure being put onto this one. More town centers coming down for Magic as well, as the Kontari is swinging up to this position over here. Units now starting to trek forward here for Shelty. He wants to put the pressure on as the Kontari is much out of position, but he does spot those villagers over here. Will he notice it? Yes, he does. And that's going to be 5 dead villagers. That's a big, big win there. The army coming over here, attempting to prevent the town center from going up, but it's 5 seconds away. That one's going to be getting completed there as Shelty wanders in onto this position yet again. Town center is through. He can start to target this down if he wants. He's got a lot of firepower here in those hoplites. But he's deciding to retreat back. I'm not sure why. He sees the army over here, and he's going to be pulling back those Kontaris now charging into the main base, still looking for raids. There's not been a single wall put down from Shelty in this game, and he is suffering for it. Sentinel there. He's got that line of that aim locked in. As the town center does end up going down, he's got to move into the main base and get that Earthquake off. If he can deny the Mythic Age from coming through, as the unit's going to be charging in. What is that Earthquake? That's the epicenter there, right? You Earthquake at the center. How many times do we have to say it? The town center lives. Atlas is on the way. The entirety of the army of Shelty is going to get demolished here from a perfectly placed implode. As the Kontari is getting pushed back out of this position here. More Prodromus are coming through, but this is majority Arcus here. We've also got an Argus, just to make my life challenging, joining in onto the fight. As the army swinging up onto this position, just searching for something here, but all of the units of Shelty are under attack here by Magic. He's got that Chimera in as well. And look at that special ability. No, it's going to retreat out of it. Okay. Oh, look at that damage onto the Pelter. 77 down to 22. If you stay on that spit, it can be a very, very sad day. As the Arc is retreating back onto this position, there is a palace in position here. Is Magic going to be diving in? And we see the implode coming through. And just take a look at that population of Shelty as everything getting deleted in this one. Boom! Down to 108 population there. Now Shelty is well and truly in trouble in this game. Arcus popping over onto this position. The gold mine over here is going to be expiring really soon as well. He's on 1 town set of 44 population in terms of economy to 70 population for Magic. Shelty here is being pushed into just a handful of fishing ships as well, as Magic's been raiding non-stop with those boats here. As he gets a couple more shots onto this one there. The Arcus retreating back now underneath this position. Another restoration coming through. Oh, as we've almost got enough favor for a Hesperus tree. A whole bunch of Arcus heroes going to get converted in. Enough time there for Shelty to notice that and retreat away. That Chimera would be devastating for the Arcus ball, as Shelty's got a long way to go to get back into this game right now. As the Hippias on that position getting taken down. We see the shades of Hades going down over on the other side there as well. And now the army of Shelty slowly starting to wander forward Unit's going to be popping around onto this side, looking to target down onto the fortress in the middle of the base here. So those Dryads are going to scop us all the way through here. Meanwhile, on this position, Town Center is back up, and Shelty is still one Town Center in this game. He is still in an incredibly difficult position population-wise, plus economically, plus tech-wise. He's behind with only medium archers versus those heavy Toxotes and heavy cavalry here. Units coming up onto this position as well. The Citizen going to be retreating back over here. It's now Shelty. He's just trying to delay here, it looks like. But I mean, delaying only really works when you are in front on the economy. When you get a whole bunch of villager kills and you delay to get yourself the army military value back out. As the Argus gets sniped down, does get the special attack off. Oh, does it not do damage to the hero? I don't know. Nonetheless, all these units getting cleaned up, and in that moment there, Shelty going to tap out. Magic claims game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Really solid game here from Magic, but Shelty, I mean, he's got to ask the question, why didn't I click Earthquake in the right spot? It's very simple. If he clicks it here, no implode comes through. Then Shelty can put the pressure onto that second gold mine and actually convert a little bit of that timing advantage that he has. An extra 2 minutes to get to the Mythic Age. That would be gigantic. And Magic would be in a really, really difficult position. Nonetheless, Magic gets the first win. We'll check out that post game just a little bit here, just to show you how far in front on the economy it was. Boom. Look at that. Absolute insanity here. It was really close up until this point, but as soon as the civilian unit count creeps up and all the raids coming through, it's all over. I think Shelty as well just needs to get some of those walls up. It's really hard to wall on water maps for whatever reason. It's just like a mental thing. You just don't wall on water maps. Both players putting none down in this game, but they are very, very useful. Anyways, we'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and we'll see you in the next one. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Magic on the right side of the map in the blue color playing as Zeus. And in the left side of the map in the red color playing as Uranus. His name is Shelty. The map, Ghost Lake. Oh, we're in for a fun one. We actually saw this matchup. I believe it was Pegasus playing against Pegasus playing against Recon. It was, right? Thank you for the prime there. Missed Madden's AU. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that one. And we saw Pegasus go for the most wild, aggressive opening to try and get the damage done with a bunch of Minotaurs. Now, that's not Magic style. Magic doesn't like to go absolutely ham. He doesn't like to have very specific build orders that get him a timing. He is more about, okay, let me set my game up in a way that I'm going to be able to survive anything, and I'm going to use my RTS skill and mid-game decision-making to find my wins. He doesn't generally grind you. He doesn't generally beat you with flashy mechanics or with crazy multitasking. It's generally going to be decision-making. Okay, I raid now. Okay, I take this fight. Okay, I go to the next age. Okay, I get this technology instead of building this unit, right? Those sort of decisions normally find him his wins. So we'll see what he's going to go for. In Legacy, this matchup was all Hermes all the way. You make Centaur, try and make it happen. In Retold, it's not the same. You can go Hermes, you can go Athena. There's no problem with going either of them. But I do think you want to be getting yourself out myth units in this map, on this map, in this game, and see how things are going to go. Now, I say it every single time. Ghost Lake map that you guys probably not so familiar with. It's not in the ranked pool just yet, but gold mines, they're relatively far away from the main base. It's really hard to secure these gold mines. So any sort of timings that you want to go for, you want to hit them 10 minutes into the game roughly when you're playing as on one gold mine Ghost Lake, or maybe 13 to 14, maybe 15 minutes when you're playing on 2 gold mine Ghost Lake. Now, when you're playing against the Oranos, it's a little bit more tricky because they've got those sky patches to run around the map, but there's only 4 gold mines, so you can definitely hit a timing on all 4 of those and really punish an Oranos player not ready. And what I mean by a timing is I just mean you want to be making sure you've got as much military or as much military as possible for that moment in the game, so you can either defend or put pressure on based on what your opponent's doing, or you want to make sure you've got a tech, a gold power, a certain amount of myth units that it's going to be enough to allow you to hold or put pressure on your opponent. So it's don't overboom is the general sentiment where that's concerned. Nonetheless, oh, we have to do a little swapsy here. I had the names in the right spot. Nonetheless, Oceanus Hermes. Do we see any villages on the favor? Wow, no villages on the favor here for Magic. He's not going for mass center in any way, shape, or form. But we do see Shelty's going to be losing himself. Up. You could do some dancing shoes here if you want. This centaur is struggling. He is really struggling. This Oracle 31 HP, still 31 HP. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. 11 HP. Can we get the Caladria over here for the heal? Okay. Dead Oracle. Big amount of advantage now for our main man, Magic, to kick this one off. He's going to drop a stable down as well. Looks like he's going for a little bit of aggression to kick this game off, just with some Hippias here in the main base for Shelty. Military Academy, Military Barracks, Sky Passage right next to his gold mine here. And he's already out over onto this position as the Jason here going to be picking up Svadilfari's sledge. I said that as Australian as I possibly could there. But this is great. Going to be reducing the favor on those fortresses. If he ever wants to go for that Argive patronage in the Mythic Age, it's going to be very, very cheap for him to get those fortresses all out. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the map, Canopic Jar of Imseti is here to reduce the train time of those military units. Shelty doesn't have any relics at the moment. And we do see that Magic, he's got himself Ullah's. Is this Ullah's? Nope, Tower of Cestus. He's got the same icon as Ullah's bow. Nonetheless, Tower of Cestus here, which is going to get a little bit of bonus damage against those myth units coming out of towers. So not bad there either. Anyways, units going to be charging across the map. We see the Centaur getting pushed back here from our main man, Shelty, as Magic very much on the retreat path here. He's got to get his units out in order to kind of defend against all this stuff. We just see a little cheeky rain of arrows here. How much damage does he actually get onto that? Not bad. He gets like 9 damage done onto, well, just onto that one unit. Never mind. Note to self, don't do that for yourself. It's not worth it. You're going to take a lot of damage. Just retreat back into your main base and call it a day. Watchtower's coming up now for Magic. What is he doing? He's playing this so defensively. Husbandry in. No units out. Lots of resources in the bank. He might be looking to drop a town center or something. I'm not sure. As Mamillo's getting cleaned up there. Loses one as Shelty just pokes his head in on this position. One Hippias just searching over on this position. We do see the Hippias going to be getting a little bit of damage done, but there's already units out there to defend for the time being. Heracles going to be coming through as well for Magic to help support him as an armory coming down, and Magic wants to get to the heroic age. I am gobsmacked at this decision making from Magic. Obviously, we talked about it already. That 10-minute mark, you need to have something, whether that's a tech, whether that's a tech, a gold power, or a bunch of myth units, or a whole bunch of army. Doesn't matter what it is, you got to have it out just to make sure you don't lose the game. But with going to the heroic age, what are you going to go for? I like the idea of going for Dionysus here. A nice Dionysus, and you make yourself Hydra. Hydra do not cost gold. You also can bronze yourself to defend against Chaos. Makes a lot of sense. But it's going to take a while to get there. There's a lot of goats here. And Magic is literally just causing so much pressure on the map from 2 units. Well, 3 units. And Shelty's just not allowed to come into the main base of Magic at all. I mean, does Shelty know about this hunt? He does know about the berries here. So this is a really nice place for him to just attack. So many villages here. He doesn't know how many are here, but he could just send his entire army around here, shockwave the villages, and get a lot of kills. Military Academy going to be coming down, and we do indeed see Dionysus. I love this. I think this is such a good strategy. I'd love to see more villagers on favor, though. Whole bunch of those villagers on favor, like 3-4 villagers on favor, making out those hydras, trying to get himself the full population, push out, hit the gold mine, hit the other gold mine, cause so much pressure onto his opponent here. But while this is going on as well, we are seeing our Oranos, I don't even know what I said there. Oranos player here, he's going to be going to the heroic age very, very shortly as well. Armory coming through, and I imagine we're going to be seeing that Hyperion, though Thea isn't a terrible idea here either, because you're going to be getting yourself those Dryads to help you out with any sort of big fights coming in.
Skopos.
I like this one as well. He's getting this tech out of the temple. Winged Messenger. 20% movement speed boost for those Pegasi. Plus you get one for free. It's really nice. And they look cool. Look at him. Look at him go. Look at how cool he looks. He's got a little thing. A tiara of sorts. I don't know. Hydra now out. Running over onto this position. Hoplites coming through. And it is going to be Hyperion. So there's not... I mean... It's all going to come down to a really big fight. Starting in the next 2-3 minutes, I think. Lots of villagers on gold over here. You can see how little gold. 1,200 over here. Sky Passage on this position to potentially come and grab this gold mine. I'd love to see a sneaky villager up here to drop a Sky Passage, but maybe like off the center of that gold mine where your opponent might not notice it. Units pushing across the map here as Magic wants to get some advantage right here and now. Shelty, he's got the population edge, but not enough heroes out, not enough economy out. Units going to be charging over here. Taking down the Sky Passage is going to be big. They have to retreat elsewhere. Lots of units over here as well for Shelty. So he's just going to take his time right now. As the pacifist coming through. And I guess Shelty can make his way into some Contarius straight away once he sees all of the pacifists coming out. As the Hoplite's going to get slapped down with the units charging forward here. More army coming in. And now Shelty says, "Oh, you're fighting? I don't want to fight." As he turns back around. Does have a nice satyr on the back there, but there is no bolt to be used. Chaos going to get dropped down into the fight for the time being. Bronze gets used as the counter as more units coming through. The pacifist in Shockwave gets dropped down there. The Odysseus on the back, they're going to start targeting down that satyr, but there are 2 Caladrias here to heal the satyr up, as now it looks like Shelty is going to have to retreat back home. But the bronze is done. The chaos is away. Population differential still in favor of Shelty here. And Magic going to have to reassess the position, pulling back. Thanks for the gifted sub, Deadly Cookie. Appreciate you, my friend.
Burek.
As all of those Arcus starting to come through now for Shelty. Arcus against this army makes a lot of sense. Those pacifists are going to be a little bit challenging, but the problem is when your opponent sees that, you start going in with those Peltas. And we've talked about it time and time again. Hoplite Peltas is such a difficult composition for the Atlantean player, for the Atlantean civilization to deal with. The only real way to beat it is just to attack it before it gets too big and too out of control. Which is obviously possible as well. But we'll see how things are going to go here. We're also not seeing Shelty get himself any of those satyr out. So maybe he's looking to go for some sort of heroic, some sort of second Hyperion Chaos dealio to take out his opponent's units. But the thing is, Magic's still got Ceasefire. Now Magic's moved over onto this position. He's dropping the fortress, going to get his gold mine. Both players still 1 talent center. Pegasus gets sniped down, trying to figure out what's going on, but not going to be able to figure that that situation there. As the Sky Passage now onto this gold mine, and I mean, where else? This is a challenging position for Shelty to be in, and I love the decision making from Magic to come up to this top gold mine. Why? Well, there's 3 gold mines down the bottom of the map. And Sky Passages roaming around there to try and sneak is just not going to be possible if the army makes a nice movement through this place, into this place, and then into this place. And then, yeah, Shelty can just retreat away from it, but then he's got no gold because he can't move up to the top side because there's a fortress up there. I love this play here from Magic. He's also got a gold mine getting secured on this position as well. But right now, the challenge for Magic to overcome is population deficit. His army significantly behind, but the heroes of Shelty, they're just not here just yet. He needs to get some more heroes in. He can convert them all now. He's at full population. Stop building units, convert all the units into heroes, and then go is the answer for Shelty at the moment. But he's opting into not doing it. He's crashing through. Those Hydra are going to get a lot of value here. Carnivora gets dropped down. There is an option for a Shockwave. Going to be throwing that one in there as well. And Magic says, all right, ceasefire time it is. But like he could just convert all of those Arcus now into heroes. Feed the Hydra with cheap units, then Chaos and let it insta-kill the enemy army. Perfect idea. Beautiful idea there. As the army of... It's looking... He's running at it, but... I mean, who wins the fight? It's just not enough heroes. Get some heroes out. And now Magic is just going to get more and more units out, right? He's already close in terms of military resource value at 4.2k. But he is so far behind on population that these units are just going to be getting so strong. We've also got that heavy hoplites now in. It's like all infantry army for Magic. And Shelty, he does get himself out one Caraballo. So getting out a handful of these isn't a bad idea. You don't want to go too heavy on them. But like 2-3 of these with a Sky Passage, it's a decent idea. As Contarius are now moving across the map, we do see that heavy Contarius is coming through, but the hoplites are in position to defend for the time being. Shelty not paying attention. He runs straight forward here. Hoplites do defend that one nicely. Villagers coming up here to check the gold mine out. They see that that's going to be a place that they're not allowed to be for the time being. But what he can do is he can get a Sky Passage up here, though the hoplites are over there already to deny any of that sort of stuff from happening. Another idea here for Magic is to wall off here, wall off over here, wall off over here, and just get the whole entire map corded off. Do we see any sort of town centers coming through? No. Do we see any upgrades coming through? Not really. Just a whole bunch of Arcus in the bank there as the units for Magic moseying up to the top side of the map. And now he's getting closer and closer to full population. And you're looking at this going, man, this army is looking scary. Shelty's army, honestly, armory upgrades here, that's the only other advantage you can really have, right? He doesn't even have his armory upgrades here. So Magic's army is going to be able to dominate in this one. We see the hoplites charging into the main base, going after that main town center here. The army run through the Sky Passage. Why are you running the long way? Villager's going to turn around and start repairing this one up, trying to keep it alive. It's going to go down so quickly. These hoplites do so much damage. This is like vintage Magic here with Zeus, as he loves these mid-game town center takedown ideas. Town center at 600 HP. Shockwave comes through. Arcus in the back cleaning those hoplites up. And now the hoplites have to get out of there. And Magic has got... That was a great defense there from Shelty. He almost gets the town center, loses it, but he gets back there in time. Now the army is going to be moving forward. But Shelty sees that with his own Contarius chasing those hoplites away. Over on this position, we've still got the hoplites going after citizens for the time being here. But this is just mass hoplites versus Contarius. Are you kidding me? This is not an army composition here, which Shelty wants to have against what's here. And Magic says, all right, no worries. Time to retreat back. It's all good. It's all good. In the main base, these hoplites are going to get chased around. Eventually going to get taken down here. He needs a couple of units to defend this one. A whole bunch of Arcus heroes do get converted for the time being as the citizens are making their way over onto this gold mine here. But the Contarius need to get over here and defend against this. He's just losing so many citizens here as the army charging across the map. But he's missing half of his population. He'll kill off those hoplites. They'll get replaced basically instantly. And we've seen the Chthonic Rites coming through as well to get those Hydra back up in HP. But the Arcus heroes are in. They're going to take the Hydra down very, very quickly. The army yet again getting caught out here. And you just can't take this fight at all. But we see the Contarius charging in from the right side of the map there. He needs to target in onto those Peltas there as he's getting through. But those Arcus in the back managed to take out the Hydra, but does it matter? Population is plummeting for Shelty. He decides to retreat away, and Magic has found himself the ultimate advantage in this matchup here, as Shelty has to pull all the way back down onto this position here where his gold villagers are. He's run out of population here. His economy is absolutely shot as well after those beautiful hoplite raids, and he does decide to turn around. One Satyr getting cleaned up. Units pulling back in onto this position. Can dive into the sky passage, I guess, but then what? Hoplite's charging in to take down the Oracle on that position as well. As the villagers, Citizen going to charge into the sky passage. Those are going to get taken down very, very quickly. He has to pull back into the main base. If he's not careful, they'll pop out. So he does manage to pull them out in time there. As the other sky passage is going to get taken out. And Magic has managed to create a gold starve situation onto Shelty. As Shelty tries to push back over here. Still so many hoplites for our main man, Magic, at the moment. Shelty, I mean, what's he supposed to do? Caraballas to make sense. Hoplites make... Murmillo makes sense. Contarius kind of makes sense. I don't know. He needs to make an army that can deal with this. Hoplite Peltas. We've talked about it already. It's a terrifying composition to be facing for the Atlantean civilization. They need... Well, I mean, just make some Caraballas is the only thing I can think of. But he's out of gold. He's out of hope here. We've got the ballistics technology, medium range soldiers coming through as well. Military barracks going down. Shelty going to be attempting to trade his way out of this position that he's found himself in, get himself back up to full population. But Magic, he's on 2 town centers. He's got the farm set up. He's got everything set up that he needs to. Contarius are going to come up onto this position to raid those villages here. But there's 20 population of garrison space into that fortress. So they're going to dive straight in there. Do see the Contarius manage to dive through and deny 4 villagers entry. Getting a couple of villager kills there will be a big help. And then charge in onto that fortress. The big weakness of this army of Magic's is how slow it is. Those hoplites, 4.8 speed versus 5.8 speed of the Contarius. Their villagers pop out to repair the fortress back up. Contarius have to retreat away. Magic tries to get around and deny those Contarius safe retreat there, but not fast enough. And Shelty, he is back up to full population. But he needs to secure a gold mine. That's everything right now for him. Magic, on the other hand, he's got enough for a ceasefire if he needs it. He can get himself some more armory upgrades if he wants to. He can get this town center to boot, but I think this town center over here is going to be the better one. Fortress over here as well, securing that gold mine. And I wouldn't actually mind seeing a trade route starting relatively soon here for Magic. He's going up to the Mythic Age through Hera, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Contarius crashing forward here into this army. Chaos comes down. Ceasefire gets clicked. Shelty goes, what next? He's not close to the Mythic Age. Lightning Storm is going to be a very brutal thing to deal with. And the lull before the storm literally begins. Magic doesn't have to do anything. This is the thing that I keep saying. It's like, for the Greek players out there, if you want to play a defensive game, just go for it. You don't have to kill your opponent. You know that your army just wins when it gets down to it. So if you can just survive, you're going to win. Keys to success to surviving. Get a trade route started. Make sure your gold mines are secured. Make sure you get your upgrades through. Don't fall behind. Those are the successes. You don't have to force it. We see a little bit of forcing from Magic just to ensure that he doesn't have to deal with anything else. But the fortress over here will be getting cleaned up pretty quickly as the army yet again out of position. And Shelty can do a little bit of one side, other side action here. As the Contarius is going to be denying the villagers from getting that repairing in. As the hoplites are going to be coming through and he's not able to quite kill off the fortress in time. Great defense here from Magic with those good micro, I should say, from Magic to repair that fortress back up. Arcus in the back here, hanging out as the fortress is through. Tyrus going to be retreating back through here as well. As the Arcus is going to be slowly starting to move forward. Hoplites coming up to this position. We see the villagers getting sniped down. We'll be able to deny that one at the very least, but it's a population differential problem here for Shelty as well. Not only is his army weaker, but it's also going to be 15 population behind at the moment. The heroes going down before they even finish that conversion there. Tari's coming back in as well. And I mean, you kind of have to take this fight, but Hera is in. Lightning Storm is going to come through onto this spot. He can dive through the Sky Passage to get out. So Magic's got to be careful about clicking this Lightning Storm here. And it's looking like he's not going to need to. Targeting down the Palace first. Then he can go after the Sky Passage. Then he can click Lightning Storm. He's got to be the kind of option that he wants to go for here. And Shelty, he can't leave this gold mine anymore. Losing citizens after citizens. All the army diving into the Sky Passage. And then Magic can just go for the main base. He's getting a third town center behind this. He's got himself that quarry technology coming through. He's going to be able to secure this gold mine as well to get him 3 gold mines over the 1 gold mine that Shelty's been able to have. As he's slowly starting to move into the main base. Watchtowers through, but we see Helios coming in. Lightning Storm getting dropped down onto this position. The Ark is going to be able to dive into the town center, but citizens are going to go down. Buildings are going to get struck by lightning. They take a lot of damage from that one as well. Hoplites trying to take out the town center as fast as they can, but the Lightning Storm here going to be able to clean up those units that pop out of the settlement there. And Shelty is out of a town center, out of our army, out of economy, and he's out of the game as Magic races to a 2-0 advantage in this best of 5 here for the Genesis Retold tournament. If you guys enjoyed this one, don't forget to follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. But first, we will check out the post game over here. We see, like you can see at this point here, Shelty had all of this advantage military value, but he just wasn't using it. This is when he needed to attack. He had 175 pop. He needed to get himself a whole bunch of heroes, and then he was going to be able to convert some sort of damage with that army and make Magic have to make some other decisions here, because that was the advantage he had in this game, but he just did not figure it out. Nonetheless, a great game played by Magic. We'll move on to game number 3 really, really shortly. See you in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, today I bring you game number 3 of this best of 5 series, sporting on the top side of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Shelty. It's been a series thus far, for sure. Magic has been pushing Shelty to the edge every single game, and he's just been managing to just inch over that finish line. Shelty's found some advantages in this series thus far, but he just has not been able to convert on them. But he's now finding himself in a matchup he knows, in a civ he's really comfortable with, and a god that he's played a lot of. Shelty is one of those players consistently doing well in the Norse Mirror. He's got a lot of experience in this. This is one of the most played mirrors in Age of Mythology competitive in the history because of the tournament, Fimbulwinter. Don't forget to check that one out when it happens. I'm sure Maiden will run it at some point in Retold. It's a Norse-only tournament. Lots of fun. Lots of action to be had. Nonetheless, the map is Tundra. Magic, honestly, I haven't seen much of him in the Norse Mirror. And to be completely honest, Magic's style doesn't ring super true for the Norse Mirror, though of every single Norse god, the style which suits Magic the most is going to be Thor in the Norse Mirror. Why? Because he can play a defensive game and come out in front. Because he gets that armory, gets that advantage to kick the game off with, he gets those dwarves out, he's getting himself that copper weapons through. Dwarves are coming through as well. We'll also see him probably going for... can he get it? I don't think he can actually get himself that Hammer of Thunder on this map without killing off his goats here, and he's not going to want to do that. You can get it a little bit later, no problems where that's concerned. But we'll see how things are going to go. Big advantage of playing Odin on this map is Great Hunt onto your starting hunt here. As we see a whole bunch that Shelty's done. I don't think you need to use it straight away, because you're not going to finish off that first hunt or get onto that second hunt before the second age. And you can see that you get 1,000 food out of that Great Hunt when you use it in the classical age. That's kind of a huge deal. You see, it's not really worth it to hold on to it to the heroic age because it's only a 200 difference. But using it in the classical age for an extra 1,000 food, yes, please. Nonetheless, relics on the map over here. We do have ourselves the Scarab Pendant. Going to be boosting the damage of siege units Tusk of the Iron Boar. That's a huge relic to grab in this matchup here, and Magic's not going to know about it as he's playing Thor. Terrible scouting. Tale of Cerberus here as well. I don't see this one being a huge advantage. Maybe if both players go through Scardy, getting this one for the extra 25% could be a bit of a help with the Frost Giants. And meanwhile, on the top side, we've got Tearfing and Gantir's Sword, with the heroes getting a bit of lifesteal. That's a big deal there as well. And you can see that Magic at the moment has not gotten the scouting information that he needs. He sees that one relic and go over and grab that. That's going to be a big help for him, but doesn't have the scouting knowledge he needs. And Shelty going to grab this one here and be very, very happy about it. Now, the big advantage which Shelty's going to have is playing Odin here is the extra favor that he gets from using Great Hall units. Raiding Cavalry with Tusk of the Iron Boar here. What does that actually tangibly do? It cancels out the effectively free Copper Mail which Magic gets. That's what it does. It cancels that out. But there's still copper weapons to consider. So Shelty's army is still going to be slightly weaker than Magic's until he gets those upgrades through. Villager differential. There's a 4 villager differential at the moment. No surprises there. We see Freya coming through for Magic as well. Herso getting trained up. And he does indeed get that relic. So he's got that lifesteal for his heroes. And it's not just Herso. It's also the Goatee as well. So don't forget that. As a Longhouse coming down on the backside there for Shelty. Meanwhile, over onto this position, Magic just chasing the Valkyrie around. There's no sense in not doing this. If you know where the Valkyrie is, just chase it around. Shelty, like you don't want to let it go astray and then hit your villagers later in the game. If there's a Herso there, then run away, no problems. But we're going to be seeing Magic searching for something to hit here. As he runs through onto this position, villagers are going to be dumping food into the ox carts over there. There could be a forest fire to get dropped down by Magic. Villagers getting pulled off of that position there. And he does indeed go for it. Can he get a villager kill is the big question here. One more jab, 2 more jabs. Not going to quite be able to get there. As the Valkyrie going to have to retreat back. Doesn't lose all too much HP. Lots of idle time caused with that forest fire. Shelty's still going to be holding onto a forest fire for a little bit later though. And for those of you who don't realize, the damage on this power increases by 20% every age you go up. So, if you take a look at it, it does enemy units and buildings within 6 meters with no fall off for 3.64 divine damage per second. So a 20% boost on that, then an extra 20% boost on that. That's a crazy amount of damage to be getting done in the Mythic Age. So if this game can get, if you hold that God power basically to the Mythic Age, it basically gives you like almost a second Mythic Age God power in a way. In a way. How long does it last for? Each tree burns for 10 seconds. But you have to get the value in it, right? That's the Valkyrie. A little bit scorched, a little bit seared, but going to be able to get back home. Magic here, spending his resources nicely. He's got a little bit too much food in the bank, but he will be taking this fight just a little bit before deciding to retreat back. Meanwhile, in the main base here, we do see a little bit of a raid coming through for Magic, but Shelty defends it nicely. Not going to be losing all too much there. The raiding cavalry back in position as well. You can see that the HP levels are the same, but 9 damage versus 7.5. That's a really, really big difference. So Shelty going to need to get himself that medium cavalry. Going to be able to do that. Meanwhile, on the front here, units are going to come through, and he also needs to get those upgrades out of that armory to level things for the actual fight. There's another raiding cavalry going down. Magic's raiding cavalry going to be retreating back. A question in the chat. If you freeze Son of Osiris with Froster's Norse and he is near the forest line, can Forest Fire damage him enough? Don't know. I don't think so. Wait, maybe. Maybe actually. Because it does divine damage. We'll have to go and test it. Thanks for the question. So now the army here for Shelty coming through. This is a really, really big raiding cavalry army. He's actually got the medium raider technology as well. And now we're going to start seeing the only option We're talking about how good Forest Fire can be, and then you use it like that. All right. A couple of Herdmen coming through at the moment. We do see a little bit of a turnaround here from Magic as he says, all right, time to take the fight, but can he win it? Answer looks like a big fat no. Those Herdmen in this one going to get chased down as well. Not going to be that much of a help. Magic says, well, I'm just going to lose the units anyway, so may as well just turn around and get a couple of jabs in. Meanwhile, over on this position, we do see the raiding cavalry getting pushed back. Gold mine getting dropped down for Magic here as well in the main base. But Magic has found himself in a little bit of a terrifying position right now. That being said, what Magic does have going for him is the fact that Shelty's only building raiding cavalry for the time being. We're now starting to see some throwing axemen in, but those Herdmen are going to be very, very helpful. Matching Forest Fire now to get opening up this main base. Nonetheless, Herdmen are going to get some good kills going on as the raiding cavalry are going to clean those up. Well, Valkyries are going to be coming in as well. Look at all the favor in the bank right now for our main man, Shelty. He can spam those Valkyries out. Raiding cavalry is still going to be looking for a bit of fights here. Shelty's going to be defending it nicely, running forward with those villagers. Pull those back onto the berries there. As we do see a Longhouse coming up onto this position, sniping down one of those raiding cavalry there as well. Houses going down. Magic is in a pretty difficult position in all honesty right now. The only thing he's got going for him is that he's got Dwarven Gold Mine, but he's not got any favor for it. So I think a sneaky little move here that Shelty can do, as he's got enough wood to throw down another Longhouse, is just put one more Longhouse down and then just make Berserks. Make Berserks and then go for the gold staff here. Because Shelty should kind of know that Magic needs to build Herdmen here. And yes, Throw and Axemen are decent against, or really good against Herdmen, but Berserks, you've got the economy set up for mass Berserks right now. And they are going to completely clean Herdmen to boot. Nonetheless, do we see those armor upgrades coming through? There's one of them. He doesn't have the copper weapons just yet, but his raiding cavalry are going to be very, very strong. Meanwhile, the Ravens spotting the gold mine over here. So raiding cavalry, they're still trying to find villager kills, just trying to distract. I like these options here from Magic. When you've got the speed on your hand, when you're in this position or being behind militarily, a great way to play, to buy yourself time, is literally just to run around the map and cause some problems for your opponent. Thank you for the 3 months in advance. Heavy plan. Appreciate you, my friend, for the support. Thanks so much. As a raiding cavalry charging through those villages here. A little bit idle, but you know, they're just going to pull away ever so slightly. He can always turn around and just shank here so his army comes back in. Meanwhile, the units are starting to climb up on this position for for Magic here. And Shelty is looking to put some pressure on, but I don't know if he wants to run into overzealous here. There's a lot of units for Magic. As the Herdmen are going to be charging forward. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry coming in here as well. There's a Herdman charging over onto this position. We'll see if Shelty can hold here or not. As those Throw and Axemen are going to be going down very, very quickly. It looks like a terrible fight for Shelty after all is said and done. Those Herdmen are absolutely cleaning everything up. A fantastic fight there for Magic as he has the Herdmen on the raiding cavalry. He has the raiding cavalry on the Throw and Axemen, and there's just nothing there for Shelty to do. But I'm thinking, just make Berserks here. Berserks are really good. That's what I'm thinking at the moment for Shelty. Magic, on the other hand, he needs to be a little bit careful not to go too hard on those Herdmen, because they do, if you've got good line of sight on what your opponent's making, you can just make whatever, you can make the correct response here, but going too heavy on the Herdmen does open up a lot of weaknesses. As the raiding cavalry are going to be charging forward here, sniping down some villages and everything else. Meanwhile, over on this position, we do have the Valkyries chasing down those raiding cavalry there. They've got themselves that Thundering Hooves tech. Shelty doesn't have it just yet, so this does make the army, I think they're equal on HP yet again. Nonetheless, units charging forward at the moment, and I think Shelty needs to bring some villagers into this fight, in all honesty. Those throwing axemen do get on the back there nicely here. Not targeted down just yet, but he's got to be focused firing those Herbmen. The throwing axemen there for Magic. They've got upgrades as well. He's got the medium infantry to boot here. Population differential is starting to heavily favor Magic in this fight, as it seems like he is cleaning everything up. Shelty does have the Valkyries out, though those are not going to be that much of a help when you have no units remaining, as Magic's army gets complete domination in that fight, and Shelty is absolutely wiped from the map. The villagers coming in to start shanking, but it is too little too late. Magic finds the dub. 3-0 for Magic after all is said and done. An incredibly dominant performance, but a really close game here. Magic was out of this one. I think Shelty had well and truly had the advantage here to win this game. If we take a look at the military resource value, look at this. Shelty was so far in front here. He wins this fight. Magic goes all the way down, and then Shelty just chases him around for so long, gets the units up to here, but that doesn't matter. If Shelty had just taken a perfectly good fight, he would have won this game. But instead, he's not able to do that. And I think part of this was the decision to go into throwing axemen here. If he just makes raiding cavalry berserks, those Herbmen are kind of... Well, the Herbmen are fine. They're decent, but the raiding cavalry become kind of useless. Plus, you get Herbmen out faster. Plus, the economy was geared towards making food-based units here in this one. He was making nothing but raiding cavalry. And then he's, okay, now I have to make throwing axemen. My opponent's making Herbmen. No, just berserks here. And that would have been a very, very different story over on this fight. Nonetheless, Magic gets the dub, wins the series, goes on to the next round. Congratulations to him. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.